Okay guys, I'm actually going to do a quick voiceover on this video. Unfortunately my mic had cut out when I tried to do it. The point in this video is to kind of show you how to pull off a trolling motor prop. It's pretty simple. If you'll see here on my prop, it wasn't really spinning the way I wanted it to. I was losing performance on it as I was out. You can see there on the sides that it's been banged up quite a bit, and you can see the wide portions where I'd actually gone in and taken some really fine sandpaper and sanded it down to where it was flat again. But I mean, still, that's going to affect your performance quite a bit, so it was time for a change. But I really wanted to find out what the cause of the problem was. And of course, before you get into doing any of this, you want to make sure that your trolling motor is actually turned to the off position, so you don't have to worry about getting anything, taken off while maybe you have an animal or something on your boat and jumps on there and accidentally starts it, and then that could be trouble. So anyways, what you need is a 1/2 inch ratchet in order to go ahead and get the bolt off. On the front there is a little slot for a flathead screwdriver on there. Now that's if your little, I call it a cotter pin on the inside there, is broken, in which this case mine was. So we'll go ahead and pull that off here. So first thing you have is the nut there that pulls off, and then behind it you have a little washer as well, and I believe I actually point that out. And again, you have your flathead there on the front just in case you need to use it to get anything else out. Here, my particular prop, it was stuck and was tough for me to get off because there was some issues on the inside, but we'll get into that whenever we get there. Okay, so here we actually go ahead and pull off the washer that comes from behind it. Once again, your nut goes on there before. It's a 1/2 inch nut to pull it off, and then your washer. And as you can see here, my prop was stuck, so it took me a little bit to get it off, as you'll see coming up. So I finally got tired of fidgeting with it and realized once there was something broken on the inside, I got a flathead screwdriver and just went ahead and popped it off. Once I realized that something was already broken, I wasn't concerned about breaking anything else, because there's not really much to break in there. And of course, as you can see, this is important as to why you should check your trolling motor all the time. I did have a lot of weeds hung up in there around my bolt there that the prop spins on. So I went ahead and pulled that stuff off, and anything can get in there. I actually had recently had some fishing line stuck in my prop on my big motor, which we all know that can be devastating. So, and again, this itself can be problematic as well, like I said, the loss of performance, but that was not the only reason that I was losing performance. So again, it's always important to check your prop pretty regularly. It's an easy process, like you saw. You literally just pull off the 1/2 inch nut, and then your washer and your prop should pull right off. Again, if you're having trouble pulling it off, then there's something else wrong in there. Okay, so once we got it all cleaned up here, you can see right here where I'm pointing at, that's where your cotter pin is supposed to go. It's basically just a little metal elongated piece of metal that goes inside of the that portion there that spins on it. And here I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and show you a better shot of it. So there you can see sticking out, that's part of the cotter pin, but it should go all the way through, and it should move easily through there. However, mine was not easy to move at all. And on the other side, you'll see the other part of the cotter pin was missing, and there it is, it had gotten broken off. Unfortunately, I think it had probably been separated when I'd hit a rock, maybe trying to retrieve a lure in the shallows or something, but that's why it wouldn't come off. And there you see the piece of plastic from my trolling motor that had come off too. You'll see at the top left portion there where it had broken off, and you can see the indentation in the middle there where that cotter pin is supposed to fit in and rotate that blade. So unfortunately, we had that broken off, and that was the reason why it was so difficult to get that off. And again, it's important to check on a regular basis on your trolling motor. You hear it all the time, but until it happens to you, this wound up costing me about $50 to get a new cotter pin set and a trolling motor blade. Okay, so another reason why I was losing performance here, this is the other part that actually is on the inside here. This is a bearing that goes around that little bolt there, and mine had come loose. It's supposed to be on the inside of, you can see mine's out there and spinning. Shouldn't be like that. It should be on the inside of this little black portion that I'm pointing to here. The whole thing should be in there, and mine was actually on the outside and had come out. So that was also part of the reason why I was getting bad performance issues. As I went in there to look, I noticed some water had gotten in and started rusting the parts, so I went ahead and put that back in there and corrected that. So getting back in here, really that's as far as you need to go to actually change the prop. There are more parts to the actual trolling motor. As you can see on the top and bottom there are two little bolts that hold the full portion together. There are actually three portions of your trolling motor. There's a little outside disc that has a prop with it. There's the main middle body, which houses the motor, and then the very front cone part there, which the motor houses into. If you were to pull the two basically those top and bottom bolts there, if you were to unscrew them and pull them out, they're very elongated. They go all the way through the end of the trolling motor and you can pull it out. However, generally there's not much reason for you to do that. For me, if I were to need to get in there, I would take that to a mechanic and let them take that done. But again, that middle part and that front part will come loose if you pull out those bolts there. But like I said, unless you're knowledgeable in it, I wouldn't recommend messing around with it. Okay, so here we have it all set up, getting ready to put everything back on. As you can see there, I've gone ahead and pulled out that middle bearing that goes around the bolt there. I've gave it a little bit of grease. I don't know that it's recommended to put grease on there. However, since I did have some rusting going on the inside, I really wanted to get that greased up and get it in there so that there's no more water damage to it. I mean, I can't imagine it hurting anything with the grease there. Again, don't take what I say as complete gospel. This is just how I've done it. So like I said, I went ahead and greased it up in there to take care of any rust or any new potential rust before I put the new before I put the bearing back in. Okay, so once we're all greased up on the inside and good, I went ahead and greased the bearing as well. The bearing should go with the metal part facing towards you. The black plastic portion should go to the back, and make sure you get it in there like that. Now, it is pretty snug fitting, so it takes a little bit to get it in there. I just took a little plastic mallet and kind of got it in there and got it pretty snug. Odds are, even with that grease, you're not going to be able to get it into that housing with just your fingers. So I did take a little mallet to it and got it all in there and set and ready to go. It will spin. Don't worry about it being snug. It will spin being in there that way. Okay, now that you have your bearing in there, you're going to reinsert your cotter pin. Again, it should run in there pretty loose, but it'll still stay. You shouldn't need to worry about it coming in or falling out. Now with the prop, I actually bought a prop and the kit. The prop, I did find out later, comes with the cotter pin and everything you need to put all that back on. I didn't know that before I bought the kit, but it doesn't hurt to have a spare just in case something happens like that on the water, like for instance mine did. So once you get the cotter pin in there, you're good to go. Just keep in mind it doesn't hurt to have an extra one around. Okay, so we have our new prop here, and as you can see, there's no portion of it broken off there. The cotter pin should fit just perfectly inside there when you put it on, so everything's good to go with that. In comparison here, I'll show you the other prop, and you can see there at the top where that little piece had broken out. So that was not good for the performance of the trolling motor, and I don't know that it could really lead to any other problems, but it's best to just go ahead and get that changed out. So you're going to want to get your cotter pin there kind of lined up with your prop and make sure it's all good to go. Once you get it lined up, basically you just push it on and make sure it's set in there pretty well. There's gonna be a little gap in between the actual prop and the trolling motor itself, but that's regular. Just make sure it turns okay. Go ahead and take your washer, put it back on there, and then take your nut as well and tighten it back on. Now, what I've heard always and what I've always done is you're going to tighten it back on to where it is snug, and then you're going to do it a quarter turn past snug to get it on there. You don't want to tighten it up too much. That can affect your performance as well, but a quarter turn past snug has always worked for me and has never given me any problems. So that's basically it, guys. I know there's been a lot of videos showing how to do this, but they never show you the exact details on the way the inside is there. Every little part that's in there. Sometimes I'll skip over some things, and I figured it'd just make a good video real quick to do. Again, this is for a Minn Kota trolling motor. I don't know how motor guides work or if they work in the same manner, but Just about every Minn Kota is going to work almost exactly the same here. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you want more videos like this, let me know. I'm always having to do something for my boat. If these are boring and you hate them, then just let me know, and maybe I'll do whatever I want anyways. But thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Alright, don't forget to check out my other videos and check out the Hooked Up Network. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think.